Don't let it get me. Don't let it get me out. 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 It's Saturday.
Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit. I'm going to put together a little video for you, a little game tape video. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to video record this game, but I'm taking the highlight reel from the NFL just to make a few points on what the Denver Broncos can't afford to do when you're playing, upper echelon teams. You can get away with it with the New York Jets, but you just can't do this against New England, regardless who the quarterback is. Belichick will have the backup ready to roll. You can't do this against the other two teams that blew out Denver, at least personnel-wise, maybe not by the score so much, but personnel-wise. You just can't do it if you're going to be considering going to the playoffs. I'd realized that after the Jets game, it uncorked unreasonable hysteria about, delusions of grandeur. So and try to bring the fans back down to earth, again, giving you a quality product instead of, a bunch of hot air. So I just want to preface that since I was unable to record this myself, I'm just giving you a snippet of the different things that I could have given if I would have been able to record it all. But here's just a snippet of things. Here, Johnson, yet again, miffs on trying to tackle the quarterback. This has been a problem for this guy, is these kind of tackles, whether it's the running back or the quarterback, or he just completely whiffs. There is just too much of this with this guy. This is a repeated thing. Yes, I realize that he blew him up on some other plays, but if this is any other quarterback, upper echelon quarterback, and you miss those opportunities because their offensive lines aren't going to give you as many opportunities that Johnson got, you are going to be losing. I want to point out this. Again, there's blown assignments in the AB gaps. I don't know why we're still having this problem, but it's great awareness with Rippon to get the ball off. When I first saw this abortion for a play, I thought to myself, what the hell are these two jokers doing? Running out, letting the coverage come in. And then I realized that here I'm blaming them. And I was making this video. I had to re-record because I realized it wasn't the offensive line that screwed up, which would be Bowles and Reisner. But this was a screw-up by the quarterback who called the play. As I was looking at Reisner running off to make some blocks, I noticed, there's a guy waiting for the ball. He's like, quarterback, did you forget the play? So this play died because Brett Rippon. This was a complete fuck-up on Brett Rippon's part, who called the play, although he's getting the play actually called to him, and didn't realize the play he called. Now this brings us to Glasgow. This was going on last week, the week before, and this with the Jets, and I want to ISO this. It's not cherry picking. This has been very typical with Glasgow. Like McGovern, which I complained about before, Glasgow is now the guy getting pushed back in the quarterback's face. And if you see, he's actually getting pushed back and obstructing the play that the quarterback, Rippon, has to throw the ball kind of around him, and it results in an interception. I put that, partly on Rippon because he can't really see because this guy's getting pushed right back at him. But, he's got to make the decision that I can't get it in there because my offensive lineman can't do his job, so he should throw it away. But it interferes with the play. It interferes with him throwing the ball. So this is a 4-year deal. John Elway, again, Elway as usual. We get stuck with a lemon, when I'm sure there were better people out there. Here we have another miff. This time it's Chubb, and he has done this too. I will say Chubb is getting back on track. But I also want you to notice that in this, even though Chubb's getting the sack, the Jets actually did a pretty good job giving their quarterback a pocket, an actual pocket. And if you really look at the even at the highlight reel, you find out the Broncos line is just struggling just to keep the defenders off the quarterback. Period. Forget about making a pocket. They're just struggling, man on man with these defenders. They're getting pushed back, and most of the time, not all. I didn't say all the time, but it's more often than not. Now, I want to show you Sam Darnold. For Bronco fans and sports talk radio that had this weird idea that Driskel somehow was holding on to the ball too long, and that's weird because our offensive line isn't good enough to hold anybody off, let alone make a pocket for him. This is the very definition of holding on to the ball. Darnold is given 5 seconds in a clean pocket to get rid of the ball. Driskel had nothing like this. No, in no way. This is the definition of holding on to the ball too long. When the line just lets players go like a spigot, there is absolutely no way, you can do anything but, either take the sack or throw INTs. But this is the absolute definition of holding on to the ball way too long. And that's not what happened in the case of Driskel. Now, I know Rippon is also learning, and we have to give him that too. But I want to show you the tale of two Rippons, and not so much to get on Rippon so much, but just to see how things break down for quarterbacks when we talk about awareness. Now, we have a 3rd and 8, and the Broncos are holding off the pass rushers, but Rippon doesn't realize that he can slide to his left. That's what good quarterbacks, and I know that takes time, and I realize Rippon is, an apprentice, basically. He's learning. I get that. But I'm just saying that these are the kind of things that, hopefully he can get better at. So in this play, Rippon clearly can slide over to the left. That's really where his plays are. He doesn't realize to do that, so he wants to throw down and to the check down, who is totally covered. Now, in Rippon's defense, I will say this, because the offensive line is, like I said, getting pushed back constantly, not giving him the pocket that Darnold was getting, you have a tendency, to be spooked a little bit more for a good reason. I just want to put that out as a disclaimer. Now, here's the good Rippon on 3rd and 8. Pocket awareness. This time he stays put like he should. The play is directly in front of him, and the next play results in a touchdown. The last play where he didn't have pocket resistance, it resulted in a punt. So I just want to actually show people the difference instead of just talking about it, okay? Putting a quality product out there. Now, on this punt return, now everybody wants to blame Spencer. If you're blaming Spencer, you don't know what you're talking about. Looking back at the footage, it was Tyrie Cleveland who blew his assignment. And Spencer's actually expecting him to make the block, okay, to make that block. He does not. And if you look at Cleveland's body language, he realizes he blew it. That's totally on Cleveland. That is not on Spencer. Spencer's expecting him to make that block. And it's an easy block, too. This is inexcusable. Totally inexcusable, sloppy assignment work. Totally inexcusable. And again, if you want to look at, but nobody's going to probably talk about this. So that's why I'm making these videos. They need to be coached. I realize they're young players, but this needs to be coached out of them because, and I want to say something else about special teams too, and why the Broncos are where they are right now with depth. Special teams is where you should be grooming all your depth, and we have none. Granted, the Broncos have some key players that are really good players as far as the NFL standard goes. The problem is that they don't have the supporting cast, and this is really where it all gets started. First of all, you scout for your, whatever the system is that you're running. That's why we can't be changing systems all the time. You scout for those players that you fit in, and then you develop them starting with the special teams. And the special team obviously lacks depth. You can blame the coach, and the coach has a lot that he should be blamed for. But the fact is, this coach also is hamstrung too, is handcuffed with the personnel that he has. He does not have the greatest personnel that we're developing, who will become our first string players, second, third, first string players coming off of the special teams. And last but not least, for all those that Rippon is the cat's meow. Here he is staring right at triple coverage. I mean, this is like the holy grail of sins a quarterback can do. And I knew he was going to throw that ball. And what else do you expect but a pick six? What else would you expect? So these kind of things just can't happen playing these upper echelon teams. But the Broncos, they need player personnel. That comes from people who can recognize player personnel. And right now we brought a linebacker off of Busby, I think it's how you say it, off of practice squad, who's head and shoulders better than what Elway picked to bring in and play off the street and paid him. We've already had a guy that's playing lights out compared to him. The Broncos have got to move away from bad player personnel. If you don't want to fire Elway, he should be cut from all player personnel decisions, period.